It's interesting sitting here, making a cup of coffee this morning, waiting for the water to boil, and thinking about this 2-hour and 10-minute video that I made last night, where I thought I'd talk for 5 minutes and I didn't really have much to say. And then I found myself going into this whole intricacy thing, a bit about the complexities, because this is just how I interact with the cosmos. Everything is connected to everything else. That's how it is. And I kind of went into something because I was spent. I was so exhausted, been working so hard to a point where I'm just like, this is so unsustainable. You should have stopped working 2 hours ago and had a rest. And I just pushed myself and not drinking enough water. And so I really got this contrast expressed. I don't know if it's received so well, but it expressed this contrast. So what was clearly relevant to me, and what I'm trying to get across with this paradoxical training, is that it's all about the experience that we are as ourselves and what life is. What the experience is that we are carrying of ourselves that come into any moment that we interact with another, and we're with others in life, for their ability to reflect self back to self. Even Zena here, she's reflecting me back to myself by being such a sook. I was done. And it was from these kind of moments, of something to do with the dogs, where there was a particular serenity when they're all in the water. So I went and stood ankle deep in the water, and I found that there was this particularly serene contrast that was the reason I started recording and saying something. But that's not really something that's easily expressed. It's put into words and able to be understood. The same as the training. So I've spoken a lot about it, and really, most people, if anyone's watching this, wouldn't really have a clue what it is yet. And I could probably do another 100 of these, and do another 100 2-hour ones, and people probably still will not have a clue at all about what it actually is that I go and do at 7 PM on Sundays for free, with 3 other people and then this other extra one. So there's a lot of space in the room. In a city of 2.5 million people, there's 4 people going to train this art. And there's about 30 people around the world that have done this training enough to a point and have a particular personality and flair and character, and they're out there in the world doing their thing with this kind of thing. So I'm having to pause this because quite often I'll want to do a recording of video or audio, and then jets start flying over one after another. And I sort of stop and I think about, I'm always doing this at this time, well, not always, but quite often, I'm doing this at this time when all the planes are coordinated to arrive in Brisbane from all their different destinations around the world. So these few thousand people that are coming in, they've been traveling for 19 hours or 6 hours, 10 hours, from all over the place. And they're all coordinated so that all the staff and everything at the airport can be there on duty, ready to go to receive 5 planes all at the same time. And then they can go and do their other stuff to manage the airport. It's all very well organised. Planes should be landing out to sea. They shouldn't be flying over the city, and they make a hell of a lot of noise. But if you just consider, when there's 6 planes come into land, in 20 minutes. That's showing that there's so much going on out there in the world. So many different people. In a world that I don't know about. It must be out there because these people come on planes from it. And you see stuff, you meet people that come from these other places, and you see stuff on TV, and there's books and stuff. I think there's a lot of people that have travelled the world and they don't really, it must be integrated into their consciousness. But it seems like they don't really have a very worldly thought process about anything. They don't really think about that. You know what I mean? Like if you just think, oh, that's just a plane. It's a noisy plane, another plane. And then another one, another one. So this is the third one coming. So press pause and just think about this journey that these people have been on to come here. And it's got something to do with my creative expression. Bush Australian Jim doesn't really appreciate the planes so much. He appreciates the planes as the engineering. But, you know, he's got a bit of a personality where he's talking along, getting doing something serious. And a bastard plane coming, another bloody plane. These bloody things should be landing over there. So you see that kind of attitude that sort of come in, you know, because I'm doing something. This is my character. This is who I am as a personality that I present to the world, you see. And then he's like, oh, bastard plane again. Look, another plane just bloody flying over. I have to press pause here, excuse me. And so I'll do that. And then I'll not realise. I'll keep recording while another plane flies over and blah blah blah. Oh, I just realised a bloody plane. Oh God, I'm sorry about that. You see, so that's something that I put on. But then there's something I put that on because that's something that's in me, and to find a way to express that and to get to have a look at that is an extremely valuable thing. You know, it's kind of like if you're a fireman or you're like the absolute best of the best of the best of the best of anything. But let's just say fireman. Then you train. When you're training for proper stuff. There's real stuff. And you're as good as the people that train to go out and kill all the other best of the best soldiers that they're going to go and interact with. But you're not there to kill. You're there to be the best you can be and to be strong and do what you came to do without fail. And you got this mind, you got this discipline, you got this control. And so you put yourself into this training with these real situations. The building's burning. The aircraft is on fire, it's underwater, in the dark ocean. People don't have any breathing apparatus. You don't have any breathing apparatus. You got to get yourself out of there, and you got to get the others unbuckled and out of there. So this kind of training matches that kind of training. Suppose there's a plane coming over. This one nearly snuck up on me, you see. So it's going to become a bit calm, and then, oh, that bloody plane, you see. I don't need to bring that with me. I've been on a process of self-discovery for a very long time, with great results. I mean, I discover myself like a renewed person most days. Well, especially these days now, I actually feel really good in the last 10 weeks. I feel good, like I've got this thing that I never had, and I kind of needed it. Like, I don't actually know how I was existing before of this, you know. So you see that, like, where'd that come from? I'm saying something, and I go, So what is that energy that's in me that's motivating that, or animating, or driving? See, now I can't do that. There's something there, like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm spent. I've had enough. I don't have anything more to give this world. I haven't for a long, long time. That came from my spirit. Somewhere behind this part of my body. In my body, around the back, I felt my back. It's going to be like moving, but I'm going to go and do something. I'm going to help someone who they're giving me some money. But I'm not doing it for money. I mean, it's like you couldn't pay me enough. See, this planet's coming up because it's quiet. Do you see how onto it you have to be if you want to give something that is a presentation or a performance, you see, and you want something to be clean and clear, and you want to hold your head straight? Look, I can't hold my bloody head straight. You've got to be so aware of everything and your poise. So the planes are actually a great example because you need to be aware. If you want to present something nice and clean and clear, and that's what the Bush Australian Gym thing is, which this is not. This is just documenting, and so the camera can move around all over the place. But when the camera's moving all over the place, the Bush Australian Gym, then it's all very, very composed, you see, because I'm a martial artist. But I wanted to. What I'm doing here is like a 3-minute point form summary of the 2 hour and 10-minute thing that I did last night. Now that I'm at 11 minutes and 24 seconds. And finally, for the first time in my life, I'm actually allowed to digress and go and explore this. And explore that, and explore this, and explore that, and what is this, and what is that? And then you kind of feel like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, and I should not, like, you shouldn't be putting anything out there into the world. But it's like this mentor-master-student relationship that gives and takes and goes to and from in this whole different way, you see. So it is totally appropriate to speak and then go, oh, hang on, I shouldn't have spoken, maybe I should keep my mouth shut. But then John will say, oh, yeah, that's really interesting. Then he'll go on. Or you ask this question, which, I mean, just even asking the question, there's this thing about the void that Jackie spoke of. And then, so we're about to do the exercise, but then I pipe up as the music's about to start, and then I interrupt the training, and then I say, so this void, is that somewhere that you will cease to exist if you stay there too long? And so John took like 7 minutes to answer that question before we trained. We're all there, ready, poised, ready to start. And he gave me this beautiful, deep philosophical answer that came out of him, not something he learnt. See, I'm onto this one. I let that one be a little bit too loud, didn't I? So what am I doing here? Trying to fit into the world with feedback that is given to me that I need to make it concise. And I can, because you understand something, then you can speak it in very few words and get that point across in layman's terms, and that can last for thousands of years. Those few words that are spoken can last for thousands of years and be referred back to. So I can do that. And I quite often do that. And if I'm playing a role of counselor or teacher or facilitator or doctor, then I give information for empowerment, and I don't give too much. I just give. It's just there. It's just this balance, and it's not about me expressing myself, my ego having to express myself. But then this expression is me and my ego, my sense of self, and all that goes with that in the constructs of reality. Expressing myself, how I feel, how I see the situation. And what I've found from doing that, even in the place of in the men's circle, that is this thing of whatever you say in the meeting, it doesn't matter, whatever you say, it is accepted by everybody. Everybody's coming to the meeting and sitting there in total acceptance for who you are and what you are, how you are and why you are, and what's going on for you that day, and what you're presenting, and what you're openly, honestly, authentically sharing in a vulnerable space from your heart, sincerely. So I thought, finally in my life, there's a interaction and this connection that I can have with people, because if you don't have your people, what have you got? So a long time without my people, my whole life actually. So I have this connection. We are brothers. We're in a brotherhood of a circle. We're there for each other. And then there's this place of acceptance. So these guys, I can just express myself, who I am, without putting any filters on to try and fit to what I am guessing is my interpretation of how things are supposed to be, or what people want to hear, or what I'm supposed to act like, or what I'm supposed to say, or what my demeanor is supposed to be, or how I'm supposed to look, or what I'm supposed to give people, regardless of what is actually really going on. What is it that people want? What are they seeking, or what are they trying to say to me? And it's very interesting because Francis had been a mentor for the best part of 19 years. I wouldn't say definitely the best part of 18 years. And he's taught me a lot of this stuff. Whereas like you're like, I take it directly from him, where he was doing counseling, relationship counseling, or mediation, or coaching, just refereeing, just allowing a conversation to occur without there being any risk of volatility, because you can call both parties out in place of support. So I've really developed as a counsellor, as a mediator. I was already a mediator and a negotiator, a very well qualified negotiator. I'm not much better because of Francis. So there's probably like 2,000 people have come in over my head now that I've paused for in what was 17 minutes. Isn't it just a wonder? Who are these people? What do they do all day? Where have they come from? How did they get the money to fly here? How did they get the money to build those things? They're massive. How can there be such a vast world out there? Like, I chose not to go overseas. I thought I'd be retired by 25 from having to go to work to make money. And I could have been if I kept on that path, but I was too sensitive and empathetic to everyone, and too much of a awareness. I think about things and think about where things come from and how they come from. So you think about where your money goes and where your money comes from, where the products come from that you're selling, and who's benefiting from this. And if something needs to be sold to someone, then there's something else about it that is not being, like, why is it something, if something's that good, it just will be there and people will want it. If something needs to be sold, then it gets put into something else. I mean, I can't remember why I was just digressing into that. There's so much going on in my mind. And I was really at a point there. So now I realize I've just, again, as I slept in and I didn't do much of a meditation before starting my day. So whatever I was saying then was tying back to everything else I've been saying, which is supposed to be a summary of everything that I was saying at length, but probably didn't get anywhere near what I actually wanted to get across. But then as I go through this process, I allow myself to be what I am, and just look at it and go, oh, okay. Instead of feeling bad, oh, you're supposed to be that. So there's tension, all that stress. And I remember now, so I'm just going to speak through the plane because I decided not to because that would be inconsistent, wouldn't it? That's a particularly interesting design of a plane. I like those ones. Isn't it amazing? You can have all these things do the same thing, but have all these different designs. Like, we really understand the laws of physics on this planet a lot. So we could make a rectangular, cuboidal rectangular, or we can make it just something that's like the most unaerodynamic shape we could possibly make, and we still make it fly at 1,000 kilometers an hour through this air. We're very smart, aren't we? But anyway, so that allowing and going, oh, you know, actually I just forgot that, but it allows me to just go, yeah, hang on, no, that's what I was talking about, was this self-discovery and making choices to not go overseas until I have residual income, but that being a highest priority in life, especially because now I'm going to have a child. I want to give my child the world as his education and his childhood. I want to set up like a community centre or a house like what I had in West End in Brisbane. That is it's a hub for everyone, and it's a lot of community groundedness there. And so basically that was the bare minimum I wanted to create in every region of the world. So I could just, and you have a real home, community, family feeling. These are your people doing, like, disciplined people. They've got their shit together, doing real good stuff for the community, grassroots, on the ground, and in the higher levels. You know, you're hanging out with people that make decisions about how the community and the governments run and all that. But then you're also hanging out with university professors doing research projects. And then you're also hanging out with musicians busking on the street. And then you're also hanging out with the Aboriginal people down at the Lizard, asking you to stop so they can sing a song to you while you're walking past, and just give them some time and presence and let them be heard because they want to sing to you. And then you get other Aboriginal people that rock up. They've already been in the house, and then they couldn't find you when they come downstairs and look for you. Playing this wailing electric guitar. Suddenly there's this bloke there, one arm. And then we have a bit of a confrontational, what's going on here? And I'm like, so what you come in? He's like, I'm guided by my ancestors. And I'm like, oh, okay. Alright, so what's going on? Why have you come in? What do you need? And he's like, I just need a hug. And then burst in tears. So I'd grab him. And I just held this fella. Plane coming. So it's about connection. I caught a plane in Melbourne once. There was 3 seats. Turns out mine was the aisle seat, but I sat in the window seat. And then these couple come, and they go, excuse me, my seat. And I go, oh, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. And so I get up and stand in the aisle, and they sit against the window. And I sit in the aisle, trying to not be too low. I'm trying to look out the window, and they got a New Idea magazine and another one of those weird tabloid things, you know, where you've got all the photographers running around on motorbikes and stuff, chasing these people, trying to get photos of them, and it's just the weirdest thing. And so they had a few of them, and they're flicking through the pages and then stopping to read a bit of whatever. They did not look out the window at all. And I just couldn't understand it. So I feel like I have a lot more connection to people and to the world and to life than most other people that have seen the world. Even though I don't even know if the rest of the world actually exists, because I've not seen it for myself. It's only hearsay. And so that's good enough to lead me in at 25 minutes. Fuck it. This is I'm expressing that the training is really hard, and it's really involved, and it's really inside out and back to front, upside down and roundabout and paradoxical. It's not something to be understood. There is no comfort. You might get better at doing something, but you never get more of a comfortable skill. And these guys are incredibly like, they had power, you know. They were doing this training the other night, which was performance. They were so good. They could have had a stadium with 300,000 people. Just like, no one would be taking their eyes off them. They were so good. My God. And so different in a way, man. So, to express myself is a very dangerous thing, because people seem to think that I'm complaining, blaming, denying, arguing, stubbornly just not hearing something, and then I'm projecting out all of this illusion, which I'm sure I've got all kinds of illusions over myself. I'm sure there's all kinds of things I can't see. I spend my life trying to work out what it is that I can't see about myself that's getting in my own way. And then there's things that I feel, but I can't actually hone in on it. And then I spend my life trying to work that out. So this incredible engineering. How's that experience as a viewer? Because the plane just comes on and puts on its brake, press pause, and then you suddenly, like, there's this build up, and that's off. So off is probably very abrupt. I apologise if that is an abrupt viewing experience. So, what are you supposed to do if the mystery of the moment holds a key for you? And it's about how you see the world in all the wondrous little intricacies that make everything happen. From the tiniest micro nano scale to the, which you can't see, you can't fathom, to the largest macro infinite scale, which you can't possibly get any idea of. The mind just gets to this point, some things are not meant to be worked out. Some things are not meant to have form. There's some answers that we will never get. And you get a chance to talk to Mercadan about this kind of stuff. You get your answer, and then if you try to bring it into any kind of form that is relatable and as a human being reference thing, at least for me in my mind, then he'll say irrelevant. It's irrelevant. And then I'm getting that these days. Oh, right. It's a concept that's out there. And he really got something across. Well, not he, he's not a he. Mercadan really got something across about the way. The Tao Te Ching. So I was even just thinking about something this morning, you know, like I'm so out of step with everyone else, but I'm in step with myself. I do what I do, when I do, how I do, and I know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, when I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, where I'm doing it, what I'm doing it for, and how long it's going to go for. I'm in containment of myself, clearly these days. But there's this thing, it's like I alone seem to know when to take the rest and to be renewed by the Great Mother. I actually just forgot the quote because I was focused. Yeah, so I actually had the quote in my mind while my coffee was being made. But I do really notice that I haven't had a cup of coffee for a few days, and I thought I've got to get going. It's really good. Like, you see all these square lines behind me? And then there's got to be the curve and reflection. That's a bit like what coffee's like. And actually seeing the reflection of the trees and the sky in my coffee, but it's sort of, everything's square. And so it makes the mind like that. I notice that my thoughts have gone a lot more square instead of circular and flowing and easing back and bringing back around. Tying in together. Everything is integral. If you let it be. If you try and make it be, then it just causes knots and tension in the mind. So what I'm trying to demonstrate is this exploration of ideas and consideration and introspection and contemplation, experiential practical application. Basically, that's why we're alive. But that becomes overwhelming in itself, it seems, because we have all these other stresses in life that mean that we have to put the actual reason for being alive and the actual reason that we get out of bed and put clothes on and do our hair and get in the car that we own and drive to places and do things and spend all this money on petrol and food, and we actually live our lives, you know, and we go and do things, and we're so busy doing all this stuff. It's like all that gets put on, the reason why we go and do all that gets put to the side so that we can go and do all this stuff, so that one day we'll be able to do the reason why we're alive. But the reason why we're alive is to have the experience and to integrate it and to contemplate it. So I'm leaving the going for this plane going over, and we're having the experience. You know, like I'm experiencing that texture whilst I'm trying to experience myself expressing something without being swayed into anything else, so that I am just expressing myself as myself to show, like, this is what I talk about. Like, have I complained about anything in this 31 minutes and 50 seconds? Am I blaming anyone else? Am I saying that I don't have a problem and I don't need to change? Am I saying that I'm not the creator of my life and my reality? Because this is how I express. But I'm being told by the person that's taught me probably the most about how to communicate with other people and how to interpret what other people are saying, how to understand it, because of having a larger scale of the cosmos and the unseen and all of that. And being able to reflect back and translate, literally translate. Well, what she is saying to you is this. I'm not happy with you because you're in a relationship with another woman now. And when I told you that this is too hard and I can't do it anymore, then that meant that I love you so much, but I don't know how to work this out. And I'm like, oh, right. So now, what, 7 years later, is that still the case? Yes, that's still the case. That's what she's saying to you. Oh, right, okay, wow. So it's interesting because he said, he gave me this feedback that this is how I'm appearing to be. And I'm like, fuck. And I couldn't work out where the actual reference point is. Okay, so what words did I actually speak to say that I'm blaming someone else for the fucking shit that I created in my life? And see, it's not there. The words weren't spoken. But what I did get from it is, he said, like, why don't you just say, like, who are you? And I answered all these questions, the same as what I did with this other guy, David. And it was about he wanted me to just get to the point and go, I am love, which I saw as a what. It's who and what, but it's what, isn't it? And then Francis was going, okay, so we'll do this exercise. Who are you? And then I said, so I'm a man. Well, I was still trying to go with the flow of what David said. So anyway, we had this whole leading thing that he just broke down, got back to this point of, why don't you say I'm a man struggling with the challenges of life? And so, yeah, okay, I'm a man struggling with the challenges of life. Yeah. And then he did a few other things, and like there's no twitches of energy, there's no boom, there's no that, like I'm not having any discomfort because I've been through this shit so much. I've done this. And then he comes to a point and says, so why don't you say I'm a man grieving for my children? And so, okay, yes, I'm a man grieving for my children. I'm a man grieving for my children. I'm a man grieving for my children. No twitches, no shock, no jolts, no tears. Because I cried them all. I've done. And then he's going, see, this is what you do. This is what you do. You say you've already done it. You say that you've already done it. And then you don't need to do it. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. So why don't you, if you're just expressing something, why don't you just say, I am a man grieving for my children? And that's it. So that's what I'm doing. We've got this meeting tonight, 6 p.m. So maybe I'll just do that. We're supposed to do some other exercise, but the point is, if you speak more, it dilutes what you're saying. At the very least. And I know that. So with all that in mind, and then all the stresses of life, there's all of that loaded in to consciousness. That's what I'm trying to get across, right? There's all of that loaded into consciousness. Like all of that loaded into consciousness, a real practical creation and embodiment, manifestation into reality and doing it, being it. Right? So I've got that. That's what I'm arriving to training with. But then the divine sort of just gives you a little bit of stimulus, this, that, and I very consciously and have full responsibility for what I allow into my frame of reference and what I don't, and what I engage and what I don't, particularly that time, because I got a real set way. But then I made a choice. I wanted to not have the dogs. It was just muggy. It was just very muggy, and there wasn't much wind, so I didn't want to just have them contained like that and getting hot and excited. I just wanted to. And I don't want them jumping out the windows and having to interrupt and all that kind of stuff. But then, that's not what I do. What I do is include my dogs in everything. And that's, I center my life around it. And it's a lot about what I was going on with all this context, because I'm trying to find out, who the hell am I? What do I wake up this morning for? Because I haven't had my children since 2017. And I know about, don't make them everything in your life, so when they move out of home, then you got the empty nest syndrome, something you don't know what to do with your life. I had that all planned. I was going to go do a PhD by the time that they were leaving home, and they're all done like that. And be cool, so I've got all this stuff going on. But suddenly, just like that, when I'm supposed to have my children 4 nights a week, 4 days before school started, suddenly it's dictated to me by their mother that their entire life has been changed, already been paid for. And she begged me to just go along with it for 2 weeks. In January 2017, where are we at now? November 2023. And things haven't really been. But anyway, that is a big point about why I'm making another recording today about this, is because my son called me at 12:33 to prank call me. And that was something with this kind of contrast, leaving this background noise. And I've had fuck all from my son for a long time. He's very sensitive, so he kind of has this perspective in place in the mind as Scorpio, like he knows that's not him and it's not directed at him or anything, but any disharmony that happens with his grandmother or his mother and myself, then that's 3 people that he is very fundamentally, physically, he came from those people, so they're a part of him, so he feels that, so he really doesn't like it, you know, and that's just. And that affects him, and I'm the one that should have more control over myself and know that they're so volatile and out of control, so I should not have that interaction go so far. And he's right. He's right all the time. So anyway, he prank called me at 12:30. And that was after the training. That was Sunday night. And he couldn't really hear me, but he couldn't keep his voice. But he kept his voice going for like, he was good enough. He probably would have confused someone else. But he was the only person that I told about these 2 chickens. One other person who responded back. So he thought he might. He prank called me as though I had an ad up about 2 free chickens. So some pissed yobbo was calling me at 12:30 in the morning about my 2 free chickens from a phone box. So it was smart. Like he was very intelligent, very smart about how he did it. But then when he hung up, then I called the phone box number back. He answered the phone. What the hell? How did you get my number? How did you know to call this back? You see, so it was pretty funny like that. But then after, and then he tried to put some other bloke on trying. I don't know, but it was just, they were pissed and out in the valley or somewhere, and for whatever reason he's out with his mates having a good time and having a few drinks or whatever and just having a good time. And it's so interesting because the kids these days, they're like, not like we were, like fucking, you had to make sure you didn't get bashed when you went out. And you don't want to go out and have drinks somewhere else because you don't have fights and shit like that. But now it's not like that. The world's not like that. And they're all so nice to each other and they're all so cool and socially, it's not cool to have a fight or anything like that. I don't actually know, but they seem to be a completely different species to us. They're shy and nervous about all kinds of things, but they treat each other so much better than the way we treated each other. That being said, they got no kind of resilience if they bump into someone and they bump into a lamppost. Take a pill. My kids aren't like that, but you just see it out there. But that comes from a generational thing beforehand too. Anyway, it was really endearing to hear from my son at 12:30 in the morning. That for whatever reason, he's walking down the street in some entertainment district, seen a phone box, and thought, I'm going to prank call my dad, who I've had fuck all to do with for the last few months. To then just have like the awkwardness go, like realize he prank called me and then he can't hear what I'm saying back to him. So the conversation can't really go anywhere because he's just so loud there. That really touched me. That's something that I thought I might shed some tears over. And I probably would be if Zena's breath wasn't in my face. She got a broken tooth and another one should pop out. So, but she's had a few phantom pregnancies, so I think she was dosed up with adult medication when she was a puppy and it's kind of damaged the liver a little bit. But she's happy to be here. And you know, there's can be so much sadness in life and in the world, but that's something that I'll carry with me. Like my son prank called me 12:31 on a Monday morning. I think I'm doing something right. You know, I think I've done something right. I think I've done something right in my life as a father. Even my boy, 19 years old, now he's been making his way out there. I mean, I didn't see him on his 19th birthday a couple of weeks ago. No response from him, nothing. I did have a phone conversation with him a couple of days ago. that was like, I sort of had to end it, like sort of go, blah, 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 just be practical and go, right, yeah, so, okay, I've got to go now. We're not getting stuck into this debating about these things. Like, I'm not letting the conversation go there, okay? There's some chickens here if you want them. Your mum did want chickens, but I don't know if she wants them. So it wasn't much of a conversation. But then for him to prank call me, so, you know, even if you just take, I'm a man grieving for my children, into the training hall, and that's what you bring in there. You know, with all the other kind of training, you leave everything behind, you step in there, but this is not like that. You take it all in there. And you fucking smash yourself up against these incredible geniuses that are looking straight through you. So, man, I presented myself with a particular stress, a particular wayward, I'm affected, I'm spent, and I'm tattered. But I've given everything to life. Especially this last week, so I made a decision to give everything to life. But then just before I walked into the building, I dropped my drink and I just loaded all this other rush stress, like, oh fuck, look at this. Because it's only the things that I sort of set really important to me that I'm fucking late for. And it's like a magic. A fucking meteorite could fly straight through the atmosphere and just scorch your face and then fly out on a particular angle and not actually hit the crust of the earth and keep going in space. And then make you 35 minutes late. And it was only because it was something that was important to me. For myself. How I feel about myself. And what my experience, what my place is, and what I bring to other people's lives, and what I can and can't do, and reliability. All of this kind of stuff, you see. So, and I went to do it like they asked me to come and help them at 2 p.m. on Friday. And so I went to go at 1:51 on Friday to drive 5 minutes around the corner. And then suddenly, it's like, fuck this. So I ended up leaving waiting. I didn't get there till 2:30. There was nothing there to get in the way. But this void opens up, you see. So then I get there and I'm like, see, I'm in this state of stress. So when I'm in a state of stress, my body temperature rises. I start fucking sweating. I start rushing. I become particularly straight. Oh, sorry, boxer. Oh, I just dropped my big manly charge pack on boxer. Did that hit your foot? I'm sorry, mate. See, the dog's scared because, see, this is what happens. The tong long comes out and I'm straight. What needs to happen? This is go here, over here, there. See? That's what happens. And that was only because this is my two mentors that I very deliberately and very consciously break myself again. They're like the rocks that you become a wave, and you're a wave just moving towards it, and you break yourself against. I'm like, they're the mountain that the weather breaks against. I'm making myself break against them. And what I'm trying to get across is like this, where Boxer was being hassled by his father. You see his scrotum, he's got all these bite marks in it, and he's got bite marks on the inside of his leg. So there must have been some thing that he must have, I don't know what happened, but his father was mauling him. But see, there's no bite marks up here, so his father had him on his back for about 40 seconds. I'm sprinting, I'm yelling at him, I'm sprinting across the field to get to him. I thought Boxer was being torn to pieces. I thought there was going to be all these lacerations and bits of flesh hanging off him and stuff. But Elvis didn't put a mark on him. But his younger brother, Bufo, must have been closing his teeth and biting him on his inside his hind legs and on his scrotum. This poor little bastard. But he's tough. He's tough. So that kind of contrast, that kind of stuff going on, like that's the sort of depth of my experience. I don't get bitten on the scrotum, but thanks for the blessing of the divine. You put out into the divine, then you get back the divine on that kind of level of that kind of intensity and contrast and full on of life and experience, but in the good way. And I really achieved that last week, really using music as a point of focus to then go and be this, to have this point of focus to then be able to connect sexually and just be something that I otherwise could not be. Music brings presence. And when you have presence, then you can focus that presence and you can do amazing things, gentlemen, if you use music. If you anything, you focus your mind, you must focus your mind. And when you do that, you have presence. So whenever you focus your mind, whatever you focus on, you focus your presence there. And if there's divine blessing and mantra, then you can make a woman become 20 years younger and stay that way. So that's the trick. You make a woman feel like 20 years younger, but then the next day they feel that they're aged again. But you make a woman be 20 years younger, and then the next day and 3 months later, they're still 20 years younger. That's what I'm getting at. But this stress that I've been carrying, I mean, I'm here in this situation, this environment here. I've had to walk away from this place a few times, like quite a few times. Once it finally came to it, like, people couldn't handle this. I was not affected by it, but one day, there was a day that occurred where I just had to walk away from it. And it took me 8 months, it took me 8.5 months to come back. 3 times, I opened the gate, I took a step inside, I turned and walked back out, shut the gate, locked it, and didn't come back again for a few weeks. The 4th time, I forced myself in here. That was like 3 years ago. So I've been grinding and grind, struggling and struggle, living a hopeless existence because of everything that I've allowed overwhelm me. And we become so desensitized, like the cup of coffee. We become so desensitized to it, but then we kind of become dependent on it because it's so familiar, even though it's toxic. Feels as full of stagnant phlegm, heat that's volatile, reactive, and eruptive. Can't be dealt with. It's locked in. You need someone else's intervention to move that stagnant phlegm and heat out of your body, and it's painful to do so. Or at the very least, if you get acupuncture, then you're going to have to go and do a really explosive bowel movement pretty soon. Probably in the toilet where you're getting the acupuncture. And so that brings up a lot of people. That kind of stress is what I'm talking about. So then you know if you just had a foul smell, you lift a foul smell in the toilet, and then the air freshener's not doing anything for it, or they run out of air freshener, and you're walking out there, it's the walk of shame, because there's a cloud that's permeating out there for 20 minutes. You know that kind of stress? You know how that kind of stress affects you? Those kind of things that you try to, well, you don't want to think, you don't want to acknowledge. A lot of people don't even look at their stool once they take a shit. How could you not? But you know that kind of stress? You know, like that. You really need to take a shit, then you need to take a shit. You know, those moments. And when you really need to take a shit, oh, God, I got to take a shit, you sit somewhere, and you get to take that shit, and then there's no air freshener, and you didn't check to make sure, you got all your necessary things before you take a shit. You make sure there's toilet paper there, particularly unfamiliar toilet, and you got something to wipe your ass, all this kind of stuff. And you're just so desperate, and then you realise, oh, no, There's no toilet paper in here. Well, I don't never find myself in a situation, but yeah, talking about this thing. You know that stress. You know that uncomfortable stress. And that's basically like, I don't have all the shit sorted in my life. The same as, and so that's like, oh, yeah, well, I know that. But now pretend, oh, man, you realize just how much you don't have all your shit sorted in your life. And then you see with this perspective, see how I don't have my head straight? I don't have control over my body anymore. I don't have control over my physical body like I used to. Like I live my life thinking I do. I can't fucking move. My back and my hips are so sore and have been for so long. I've been locked. So nothing new can come in. Nothing's been able to break through this except this training is giving me a way to create a containment, to look at the paradox and move it through without it having to be martial arts and having to be some kind of fight that gets turned into a dance. Because all of that is still, this outcome is a martial arts outcome. But doing this performance, you know, when students ready, the master will appear. This probably wouldn't have appeared if I was still practicing martial arts 4 hours a day and really got my shit sorted, because I wouldn't be so broken and so happy to just, and so well conditioned to just break myself against whatever mountain might be there for me to break myself against. I mean, that's the one thing I've gotten very good at. And I've had a lot of struggle and stress and tension, and my mind's been thinking all these thoughts, you know, that have an effect. So I really went in to break myself against the mountain of John and Jackie. The two mountains. And these mountains, they move around, so they're here. Suddenly they're around here. Oh, they're so good, so strict, so abrupt. And oh my God, they are so masterful. It's been a long time since I've been put through paces like that were hard to keep up with. And it's been an incredibly long time since I've been put into a point of training where the same thing is being yelled at me 4 times before I realize what the fuck's being said to me. I'm just like, and it's like, whoa, this is stuff going on in my nervous system throughout my body. It's all here. And it's like, I feel so good. Like, yes, I'm like, getting some fucking decent training. Yes. And, it's as strict as, like, Henry Sue yelling at you. But there's no chance of being hit by him. Or by the person yelling at you. I don't mind being hit by Henry Sue. He never releases any energy. He talks about stuff and he yells, ah, but then when he hits you, like, he deliberately doesn't give you the energy. It's like, you want to fucking... He'll give it to other people, send them flying across the room. So you get to see it, but then when he goes to touch you, then you feel like... And you can feel that he's just not giving it to you. And that's for a reason. Because he knows that you know. So I can see that now. Like, he was showing me how you can just have all that and you can just not hit. I just really understand it's there. It's there in this part of my body. I actually got a lesson that Henry Sue gave to me 17 years ago. I'm feeling the chi there of how you can control that energy. It's all there. You just touch someone and they're flying across the room. And you can do that without causing internal injuries. That's one thing I've always been good at doing, you see. Because otherwise, touch someone and they go flying across the room and then they die of convulsions 6 hours later. And there might be a bruise on them. I mean, if you want to train Kung Fu, if you want to know what Qigong is and what Kung Fu is and what Tai Chi is, and then there's one man I can guarantee will give you that. But he's a hard man. He's a hard martial artist. A hard man. And when I come to be his direct disciple, moved to Brisbane, trained the headquarters, became his direct disciple, training him the one teaching. He was an incredibly beautiful, very spiritual man who became an absolute, I'm not going to say the word, I need that for me specifically, because I was saying I want to become soft and gentle now because I've just had a baby. I'm really soft and gentle and nurturing. Yeah, okay, I hear that. So that's what your lesson is, that's what you asked for, but that's not what you're fucking getting from me. You gotta look. You do the best in the class, everyone else gets his praise. You gotta look. But you feel like you're about to have your head removed. But there's energy in there, like he's a master. Very psychic person and very capable human being, a very capable spirit. The truth is, like, I haven't been training with him. Since 2017, I was running 3 businesses that I was buying, and I was in terrible financial despair that I had suddenly got this great opportunity. I put everything into it. So it wasn't until about 6 months that I was down into 2017 that there was one day that, oh, hang on, I've finished work now. I could actually go to training tonight. Yeah, I could do that. And as I sat there and go, hang on a minute. I am so sore. Every muscle and joint in my body is so sore. There's no way I could go and do all this throwing stuff, let alone be getting hit in all these places. It's going to hurt like hell. And I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning and do all this again. So I just can't. And it's around that time that I was so injured I couldn't even use my left arm. I just had this terrible RSI. I just fucking... Rubbish removal and building these businesses, you're buying, you're going to get yourself out of it. So I destroyed my body till I wasn't able to work. I wasn't even able to train at all. I just had to stop and rest and lie in bed for 3 weeks. Because I put everything into all the people, I thought that everyone would keep the ship sailing and everything would be going. I was supporting all these different people and teaching them how to fish and all this kind of stuff. They all left me. There was money there being made, and everything turned out, it all just... So that was something that was a stress that carried on. And that was, then there was a fire and all this other, like, so loads on. But I didn't train for a while. And then when I started training again, once I let my body heal, then I just started training Tai Chi gently. And after a couple of weeks, I noticed my approach to life had changed a bit. And then I just didn't start training Tong Long again for like another 2.5 years. So I'd always do my practice. I lived just around the corner from headquarters, but I couldn't go. I was either working in the evening and they didn't do daytime classes anymore. And, you know, all these different reasons that could be there, that now so much time's passed and life gets in the way, and for some reason I'm not doing a good enough. I mean, I don't want to stand in front of my Sifu Henry Sue unless I've been training 4 hours every single day for a month. I don't want him to see me in anything less than that degree of discipline and strength, conditioning, and fitness. And I just don't have it. I'm flat out. I haven't started training. I should be starting the day training. What, I've been talking here for an hour, and like, what? How come I didn't get up and train 4 hours before doing anything else? I've got other stuff to do. Why am I making this video? So that is how you lose yourself. And time can pass. So I won't step in front of Henry Sue. I won't stand in front of him until I get myself to a point of discipline. But then I'll do this. I'll train. And then one day, it'll be like a Saturday morning. I'll just wake up and go, fuck it, I've got to go there. You're never going to be good enough for that standard, so you're never going to go there. But one day you'll just go, right, I'm just going there. And you'll go there, and there's Sifu sitting right out the front having a cup of tea. With time. The other things, I know if I see him, I'm just going to burst into tears. I'm just like, my whole spirit, because I failed. I fucking failed out there. I haven't failed as a martial artist. I've failed in every other way, but I did lose myself. I've lost myself. So you see the contrast? We trained by the best in the world. But then, I don't feel like I could go and stand in front of him. And it's not like I've done anything wrong, I haven't been a bad person, I just haven't been the best I could fucking be. I haven't trained 4 hours every fucking day. I haven't even trained an hour every day. And you know what? I don't really know why. So this is what you spend the time trying to work out. Why am I not training? Why do I have another cup of coffee instead of getting up and fucking training Kung Fu? I want to do that. I'm living my life expecting that I've got the energy from having trained Qigong. So that I could just put my fingers straight through an elephant's body with that. But that's a strain because I'm doing it all the time, you see. But this is the thing that I do that all the time. Then I'm basically, I got compared to an X-Men one day. I'm like, I'm better than X-Men. I'm basically like, yeah, don't insult me. Like, yeah, because I'm better than a fucking X-Men. I'm not limited to what X-Men are limited to. But, you know, when you got to drive a lot and then you get somewhere and you're tired and when you go to sleep and wake up in the morning, you're stiff and sore. Because there's very few cars that seem to be that I get to drive in that actually are good for my body to sit in this ergonomics. But it's the stress, it's the burden, it's the stress. I've got to sort this, I've got to sort this, I've got to sort that, I've got to sort that. Never used to be a problem because I could always find a solution, but suddenly I end up in this different void, paradoxical, magic thing where it won't work. So I'm only starting to let that go again, but there is still the stress. I've loaded, I can feel it in my body now, you see, so I can feel it. So that's the stress. So what I'm trying to get across is that I loaded in a program. Okay, this is a program of stress. I'm writing into the system. This is what we're loading into consciousness. Now I'm going to go do a training. And then life happens in this mystical way to bring it to the point of going to open that door to walk in the building and then boom! Hell of a stress loading. And the moon was not full last night. The moon was full on Sunday night. And it was full on. It was full on. At the time of walking in there. So I was really allowing myself to go into this spatial void and knowing I had this fuzzy, agitated stress on the outside of my body. I need to fix this situation. I need to fix it. I need to fix it. And this is the thing. See, the point of that is because I can hold that tension. And this is me unfit and out of whack, but I hold this tension. I can easily have someone's skull in there or someone's throat or someone's arm or whatever. No worries, just hold all day. But when you're doing that, it's like, I use so much energy. So that's the principle. This is what you don't do. But that's what I'm doing. I can't stop myself doing it. So I'm not doing it with my physical body, but I'm holding my hamstring muscle. Tension. Because you've got your foot on the accelerator, but you're pulling back at the same time, you see. Oh my God, it's so much pain. That's how I'm living my life. For so long now that I don't actually remember anything else. And you don't remember it, but you kind of forget that that's what you're living and completely desensitizes how you are and all of that. And then that got loaded into the consciousness 3 meters from the door. And then I went in there expecting to just not participate in the training, to sit down and just take it all in. But it I didn't really get to train that much. I got to sit down and I was just so... it was actually quite a surreal, sublime, psychedelic kind of experience, you know. It was pretty out there, which it always is, but just I remember just looking at that moon And then going, oh, come on, you gotta rush. I was like, look at you, man, look, you're doing this again. But I remember I stopped, looked at the moon, and just, wow, that's really... And I snapped back into this rush, and then I dropped my drink, and I was like, all right, like, there's no, it's sort of just, the void took it out of my hand, bang, and then the way it landed, like the impact of the land, is like, there was nothing in between it and the ground, so it just booged with the vacuum and popped in a way that defied physics. And then I go walking, and the fucking thing's leaking. I'm like, so anyway, I suppose I'd toned myself down, going, right, I'm not going to train, I'm going to watch the training. And then I got thrown into the deep end of something. Oh well, okay, cool. I'm right into it, and I really pushed. So I throw myself into the deep end, like give everything to it. And I saw all kinds of things about, I don't have control over myself. I'm exhausted, I'm spent, I'm worn out. I'm weak in every way, and I know I have been. But there's this thing about trying to get into the training, that's the most important thing. I just fucking haven't been able to do it. Even today, I haven't done it. And man, it all hit me hard. Boom, 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 boom. Layer, 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 layer. And then Jackie was telling me to correct in these ways, telling me all this stuff, and I was over the pain. And then she came and moved. I'm like, that was hard work. That was hard work to not suddenly go, my face, like I make, like, I was stressed. I was stressed in my face, in my mind, that I could not, my body, I did not have that connection. Like I had let myself get so out of whack. And I'm up for the training, so then I'm prepared. I'll train another 4 hours of that burning pain. I'll push myself through it. You think you can't do it and all that. And then there was a different type of way of doing the speech, and I could not hold all the stances that Jackie had just put me into and do everything else that I was doing and stay in time with the other people. I mean, it's incredibly demanding. Like, John was very deliberately layering up. We're talking like 13, 15, 20 different things at the same time, not half a dozen. And really, shut, bang, 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 right down the opposite, bang, bang, bang. There's no time. And then Jackie's there, like, fucking, oh my God, she's so impeccably disciplined. And it's like she teleports across the room. She's yelling at you from over there. Really strict, so she's so perfect in her move. Suddenly she's around there yelling at you. Then she's over here, and then she touches you, and then, oh my God. And it's that thing of you're standing like this, and straighten your head, and then she comes and adjusts your posture, and you move like this, and oh my God, it is painful, it is painful, it is very painful, because I haven't used those muscles. Fuck. Oh. I'm in a little bit too much pain to demonstrate that right now. Or maybe it's because Jackie's not here. If Jackie was here, I wouldn't let myself fade out of that. But look how I'm standing now. I've got my back engaged. So, can you get a view? See how I'm like that? See how I've got... Can't see the camera. See how I've got this part straight and engaged, and now I'm here, I'm stretching out, so I've got this tension over here on this side. I'm out of whack because I'm all tight down my right hamstring. Oh God, it hurts so much. I can't breathe deep because of the pain. Everything's out of whack. The entire thing is out of whack. Not just my body, my whole animated system. And look at Xiao Yang, Jue Yin. Liver, gallbladder, wood element. So it's wood, it's fibrous. It's fibrous like that. And like this. Like that. And that becomes in spirit as well, that animates the physical body. When the student's ready, the master will appear. And I feel like I really engaged to the absolute maximum potential in life, in the training. And then went there with such a spiritual conviction, vindication and oomph and integrity, with this surrender to break myself against the mountain of John and the mountain of Jackie. And then I did that, but what I got, the training that they put me through was like 6 times more intense, at least, than what I had gone there to engage in. So I stepped up to it because I've got it in me. So they pushed me, and I've got it in me. I do have it in me. Physically, my body can't fucking do it. My back won't let me move that way. I'm so out of whack. Driving is not good ergonomics for our body. And I could do it. I developed the stuff to fight as an injured person. I remember I trained a lot to fight as an injured, incapacitated person. So I'm good at that. And that's how I was moving. But then when you're going to do this other stuff where the end goal is not to be able to cut someone in half 25 meters away, is to provide the performance poise that is compelling as the audience reflection of cosmos, so that they experience and feel something through you, and you're experiencing and feeling something through yourself, and then back through the audience, back through the cosmos. Discipline. The training was so much harder than any other martial arts training I've ever done. Just that moment, just those few seconds, holy fuck. And it showed me so much about how out of whack I am with myself. Like, I was shocked. And on pen, I said to her, like, oh, fuck, I can't believe how out of whack I am. You know, consciousness isn't there. There's whole sections of my back now, which I don't know if I can control this. Where my hand is around here, there's a whole point up here, but consciousness is not there. It's locked in. It's so stiff and sore and terrible pain. Terrible pain. Can't move. Can't see how fucked up I am. And there is no other way to get through that but through the physical work. And you can go to a martial arts practice or yoga thing and get told what to do, and you drive through it, and you might really be driven because you've been told whatever motivates you. I want to be the best of the best of the best. I want to be as good as Masifu in all the spiritual realms, not just in fighting combat. And it's like, I haven't been training because I know I can fight. I can fight martial arts. I can fight anyone. Like, I actually thought, like, for money, if I could just, I don't know how to do it, but there's people going to pay this money competitions. Like, what if I just charge $100 to here? They've got a gate, they've got some room now. A bit of bitumen, make up a fighting ring, like, so sort of 10 square meters, circle, whatever. And for 10 minutes, you come and pay $100, and you can bring people to spectate. They pay $30 to enter as spectators, and you pay $100, and you get 10 minutes, whatever your martial arts, whatever it is, whether you want weapons or whatever, then you see if you can beat me in a fight. And I'll give you a guarantee that I will not hurt you. Provided you don't try to then get a cheap shot after you've been proven to be beaten, incapacitated, and you concede. If then you try and do a cheap shot, then you probably will get hurt pretty bad. But I can do that. So, what are you going to do now? Are you finished? Okay, concede. Well, just make sure. Anyway, I wouldn't ever get a cheap shot because I'd probably do something. I'd dance with them, not hurt them, only do Tai Chi, use their energy, show them that they're controlled, incapacitated, tied up, they can't do anything, and then just ease them out of the circle. All right, finish. All right, that's your $100. I don't know why I didn't do that. It wasn't so much about insurance. It's more like just about a confidence thing. It's about like, you don't do that. You know, who gives a fuck what people think? Maybe I should do that. But you can see in my eyes, I haven't drunk enough water. I haven't nourished myself enough. My liver is like forcing through, working really hard in the heat. If you don't have something that you can break yourself against, as though you're the weather breaking yourself against a mountain, then you need to find something like that. I found this Nobbs Suzuki Praxis, or it found me, and it's the most monumental, expansive, and comprehensive expression and application of discipline, real accomplishment, real connection, understanding to oneself, and real engagement, interaction, and experience of life as a human being. I'm amazed I had so much to say, but I do feel a lot better now. Having said this, that I've been really down on myself for a long time about the lacking of discipline. And I don't know if I'll be able to push myself in the martial arts training hall around the corner for my Sifu the way that I pushed myself for Jackie. I needed it so much. I'm so grateful. And then when John realized what happened, that because he did say, oh no, I think he might have said, whatever, I can't remember. He either told me to participate or Jackie might have told me to participate. That might have been what happened. Maybe Jackie told me to get up off the floor and get onto the training floor and participate in this exercise. And she said some words to me and I got it. I was so receptive. I was so, yep, okay, yep. And then, holy fuck, I couldn't do it. Oh my God. Man, she trained me hard, only for a few minutes, really. I gave everything to it that I had, as I always do, but I think I had more spiritually to give to it. And I think like they saw that. They saw me giving it all. And so they pushed me well past my capacity, and that's what the whole point is. So the ego, the conscious mind checks out. And so you're still doing something. So for this time that I'm being yelled at, the same command is being yelled, same direction is being yelled like 4 times. And then I come up with, and then I do it. It's like, that happened a number of times. Like, where was I? Well, I wasn't here. I was somewhere down in my lower spine trying to get my body to work together to do these things that have been demanded of me. And I was doing that with my entire spirit, which has been locking me up and holding me back for such a long time. I can't work out how and why and where and what and who, because I'm just trying to deal with the next 5 minutes. I don't even try to get to the end of the day. I just deal with the next 5 minutes. You know, all this pressure, all these people want stuff, all this stuff that should be happening in the functional life, but I just practically don't have the fucking means to do it. And I don't know how to work out a solution how to do it these days. I'm just hopeless. So it's easier to make a 2-hour video talking about this stuff, probably in a way that people can't possibly understand what the fuck I'm saying, and then talk for another 1 hour and 23 minutes the next day to concisely, quickly, just very quickly, because I've got stuff to do. I'm running late now. But I'm never late. I'm always fucking late. I'm only late if I say I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time. Got energy to do this. And not really, like, I've done a lot to clean up and sort out my own shit, my own life. Now I'm going to do that deal with someone else because they can't handle that because it's overwhelming. You know, it's like you can't do your own dishes. You go to a friend's place, you can, their dishes are worse, but you do that, no worries, bang, done. Tidy up their garage in 10 minutes so you get going, whereas they couldn't do it in 2.5 years. I'm leaving the plane go because we've got texture. See the scene in the background? That's sticking out from the lights. So it's three-dimensional thing. My eyebrows, three-dimensional. Texture, contrast, perspective, poise. Look at my face. See how I'm so worn out. I'm using my energy from a point of absolute exhaustion and hopelessness and despair, because all I've got is my ability to maintain my own sense of self, some kind of discipline, in some kind of way, so that I might know who I am and what I'm doing. And that if I decide to do this, or I decide to do that, or if this happens or that happens, or a meteorite comes out of the sky, I'll just hold the bastard back, so I won't be late. No effort, no resistance, just is what it is. Purest form of energy, because it's unobstructed. It's a dance, is it not? Isn't not everything in life a dance? Look at that mess behind me. Why would I be ashamed of that? It's fucking beautiful. Look at that. You know why I'm doing that? Because my back hurts. My fucking back hurts. I'm in so much pain. Balancing. Now, you can't see that because I've got this perspective, but I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm increasing my pain. My pain threshold, is now about 20%. It's about 30. Fuck, I can't hold it. I can't hold it. See, it's locking out. The nerves disengage, and I just... I'm not using my body the right way. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. I used to swap and get massage every week. All my friends are going around now, and then I'd like to support my industry, but just don't have the money. And I think I need a month of getting massage 12 hours a day to fix myself, and that would be agony. But I was such, the other thing I was such a scattered, tattered, worn out, stressed, like there's all this fuzzy stress around me on the outside of my body that I just become desensitized to. Like you become desensitized to a cup of coffee. Have a cup of coffee. The reason I hadn't had a cup of coffee for a few days, last time I had a cup of coffee, I felt fine, and just, I felt retired, but straight up here, just a straight, don't really need that. And now I'm in terrible pain right there. It's terrible pain in my back. Terrible pain. And Jackie managed to put me in a position so that when she adjusted me through that painful tissue that was tight, my whole spirit was engaged and compelled to maintain it instead of just fall over. I mean, if I was getting shot at, I'd probably fall over. Because I've developed my way in moving in martial arts to be able to deal with the fact that I'm injured. So I could have an arrow going through my back and I'd still be able to fight with a sword or a halberd or a spear or whatever and defeat a whole army and then save the prince and get back to the castle, save the day, and then sort of take the arrow out and fix myself. So I can move like that. But then, you know, if you got to dodge bullets, I'd probably move straight and then just have to surrender. So you go this way, right, and just disengage from that point. So you just fall down. That would probably be the way to get around bullets because you can't engage those muscles. But if Jackie was there and I had to give a performance to her whilst I'm getting shot at, then I'd probably dodge those bullets in a way that my whole body moved together as one and congruent. And I actually did just do something like that then, and I feel that I've engaged the muscles through and it's not hurting. So I don't know what I'm doing, because that feels like a good stance for martial arts. Like it's stiff and sore, but I'm breaking through it. And I can still continue from the next one. From here. I just don't have as much spring forward action from nothing on the right foot because my back's so sore on the right side, tight. So I have to use some degree of energy to spring it. But I mean, there's very few people alive on this planet that would be able to preemptively counterattack that movement and stop me from being able to get away, at least, you see. You might not be able to attack and fight and stuff, but can you contain the person, trap them, and get them down? So if you can get away, then you don't need the fight. And you can come and engage with overwhelming, absolute overwhelm. Like that. Like, I got him. But if you can get away, then... So I've got this lens that the camera's moving around a bit. It doesn't matter if somebody can beat you in a fight if you don't have to fight them. If you can get away, then they can't really beat you in a fight. If they've come to assassinate you and they can't get you, so you can't defeat them in a fight, but they can't kill you, then that's good application of military science. But that's about the extent of that. And that I think that's enough for life. So you can train Kung Fu to the full extent, and then you can apply that everything in your life, and basically every other martial arts. But most other practices, even after you've done 100,000 hours, you may still have some problems in life. Where you might still have these blind spots, don't get to have a look at yourself or something, I'm not sure. But, you know, John was saying it is this thing of this practice may not ever be used in your life as a professional performer or anything like that, but it's something that you apply in your life in absolutely everything else that you do. And there's nothing else out there, really, that he knows of that comes close. And that's why I'm talking about this in such a way, because it's monumentally refreshing, evolutionary, progressive, developmental. It's ancient knowledge with the newest, most cutting edge, incredible knowledge. The man's a genius. His wife Jackie's a genius. They're both mystics. Man, I really went as a complete broken mess, worn out, absolutely fucked, absolutely spent. And I crawled into the training hall the week before. This time I ended up going there with all this oomph. I ended up being late, so I have to come in as this humble, complete out of whack, and just sit. And then I get to participate. I get incredibly challenging, disciplined, advanced, sophisticated, high-level training that is in me now to work on. And the other thing Jackie says, you got to dream it in. You dream it. Whether it's daydreaming or sleep, whatever, you got to dream yourself into that state of being able to move your body with the discipline. See yourself being able to move with that structure from the center. And you know, she's right. I mean, I can just do it now. That's so much better. You know, so you see how you dream it. You know, white people don't say this kind of shit. You don't get 70-year-old white people living in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, looking like very normal 70-year-old white Australians, saying the things that they say, or having the discipline that they have. Jackie is so unassuming. You wouldn't think that she's a mystic. She's just such a... You know, just so simple white Australian, but very gentle and loving person. But my God, she's a mystic in her eyes. And she's incredibly disciplined. The demonstration of what she's showing down the lower part of the body. Oh, man. And so good to be taught this from a woman. That's the other part of it as well. That's why I get this contrast out. All the contrast I'm trying to explain and give it loaded up to give the contrast of the texture of then. So in this perspective, then it's a 70-year-old woman with impeccable movement and strength and discipline. I'm watching her feet and her body, her legs and her hips, and then watching everyone else. It's all about footwork the other day. I was onto it. Jackie was onto it. I trained hard. She trained me hard. I broke myself against it as many times as I could. I was fucked. I gave everything to it. And then I said that thing to John about what the Francis gave me that feedback. And I was like, so do I give that impression? You go, no, I've never seen that with you at all. I'm like, oh, cool. So that's good because I just come here and give everything. And it's so good to not be told that I'm making excuses and I'm blaming, complaining that I'm not responsible for my creation. I'm coming to be here. And that I've got this bad attitude that I don't fucking have. I mean, I've got attitudes, but not that attitude. Anyway, it's Tuesday now. After doing that, I feel really good now, actually. I feel so much more energetic. I feel like my spirit is moving through my physical body in such a way, which is that to be renewed from the Great Mother. So it was a full moon last night, taking the dogs out. I was renewed. So I wake up, I gave everything to what I could give. Absolutely spent. Did make some pretty significant change for a friend of mine's life, everyday life. I really did achieve something yesterday. Pushed myself, fuck, I pushed myself, but I achieved it. And now I'm going to go back to consolidate. So I know who I am, I know what I do, I know why I did it. And it seems that I'm out of step with all the other worlds that are out there. I'm between all the other worlds, but it's like I alone seem to know how to take rest and take resource and be renewed from the Great Mother. And that's something that I really get a great comfort from, remembering that now. So I have learned a lot. Whilst I've completely fucked myself up and made myself so weak, I have learned a lot about being renewed by the divine. And then I actually forgot a lot that I've been remembering that I forgot a lot about being renewed by the divine, because I was actually really injured and I was the only thing I could do is just ask the divine. So I've been bringing that back in again the last couple of weeks. So all in all, I'd give myself an 8 out of 10 for feedback, for results of myself for the last week. And that's because there's always room for improvement. I didn't actually have anything more to give, but there's always room for improvement. Nobbs, Suzuki, Praxis. Incredible gratitude that I found this. I actually don't know who I'd be right now if I had not found this 10 weeks ago. My God. I don't even want to imagine. Profound. All right. Uru.